Hi, I'm Rosh from Energy Matters. Welcome to our podcast, Road to Zero, where we delve headfirst into all things renewable. Join us as we chat to industry experts, tech specialists, and some of your favorite TV and radio personalities asking the renewable energy questions that you want answers to. Our goal, a zero carbon future. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to be joining a real, one of the top guys in the industry, Dean Williamson, who's the country manager for Goodwe. Dean, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Rosh. How are you?
I am very well, thanks, mate. Very well. It's been a while. You've been keeping
well? A while, mate. It's been a busy few months, but yeah, good to see you again.
Absolutely, very good, mate. And look, a lot of my customers and a lot of our sort of visitors to our website are asking more questions about Goodwe. Your technology is clearly going from strength to strength, and I can just see, some of the marketing that you guys are doing out there, that you've got some amazing products coming up. So today, I definitely wanted to find out more about Goodwe. But before we get stuck into it, mate, it's always good to understand the man behind the operation. So, Dean, tell us a bit more about yourself, mate. What's been your journey today in the solar renewable energy industry?
Yeah, look, I started out probably around 12 years ago now in the industry, Rosh. Started working for a residential solar company, just selling solar systems to consumers. Back then, I remember, typically you're selling 1.5 kilowatt systems, although you might sell the odd 3 and 5 kilowatt system. Back then, it's probably around sort of 25 grand you're looking at.
I remember.
Yeah, and then probably a year or two after that, I started selling commercial solar systems, although even the commercial industry was a lot different. We were happy if we sold a 40 kilowatt system, and I think you're selling those for around $100,000 back then. So, yeah. Mate, times have certainly changed a lot. I guess a lot of the homeowners back then, they had the high feed-in tariffs. So we've seen the market really mature over the last 12 years. Feed-in tariffs a lot lower, but also the cost of solar is a lot lower as well. So look, after I was selling the solar to the consumers and the businesses, around 2013, 2014, I joined a manufacturer of inverters known as Zebra Solar. Okay. And at the time, Zebra Solar was the combination of two Chinese manufacturers that came together, created Zebra Solar. And I guess what also appealed to me was shortly before that, SMA had acquired a 72.5% share, I think, from memory, and then later acquired 100%. So my role was really as the sales manager there, trying to build the brand, I suppose, from the ground up. And after a couple of years, we had a little bit of success there, which was great. And my manager at the time, Michael, who was the sales director, eventually he got the role of managing director at SMA Australia. So, which was, I think, about 3 years after I started there. So they then decided to merge the sales functionality there. So we then came across to SMA, and then we effectively had a 2-brand strategy. We were selling both of those brands into the market. And then around 2019, I started speaking with Goodwe, and I suppose the rest is history.
So they basically come and join us for lunch, Dean. let's get you away from SMA, mate. Well,
yeah, yeah, it was not entirely like that, but it was. I spoke to them for a little while, and it's always a risk when you move. And so, I guess for me, what drew me to Goodwe was that, look, I knew they had a reliable product in the market. They were a growing brand, but I guess being able to influence, certainly, the products that come out to your market. Also, they knew the local market here really well, which I was impressed with. And, if you're going to perhaps have some success and sell a lot more inverters in the future, you just want to know that you've got that support from headquarters, and that you can bolster your service team when you need to, and you can expand accordingly. And so, I've been really grateful in the support that headquarters have certainly given me.
No, fantastic. I mean, what if you're looking at the two brands, alongside each other, obviously SMA, a leader of inverters globally, versus Goodwe, although a massive manufacturer at the time, was still obviously then only coming to the Australian market. I mean, what would you say is the key, obviously, aside from without actually knowing how much support you're going to get, what influenced you to want to obviously represent them in the Australian market?
I guess for me, it was that I saw a really good growth opportunity. For me, early days, it was about, first of all, building a strong distribution network, because as I said, if you've got the reliability behind the product, you're very fortunate. And I knew that I had that. Once I felt that I certainly had the support from headquarters, I felt like there was a good opportunity for growth. And so my first step was really trying to grow that distribution network, so that we had a number of key distributors who can make our product widely accessible into the market. And then once we grew that, we're able to grow the sales. As I said, we're really lucky that we're able to bolster our service team. And then we really went through a localization process whereby we're able to move our marketing locally, our HR locally, bolster our service and also our sales teams. So it really gave us that strong local presence, which I felt that we strongly needed. And then from there, it was really about getting our brand out to the market, trying to separate ourselves from just being one of the Chinese manufacturers to really offering strong local service and support. But then marketing, we really wanted to get the brand out there. Firstly, to the installers, we were targeting them for the first couple of years with our marketing. And then I guess in the last 12 or 18 months, we've also then been doing a lot of consumer marketing as well. Which is yeah.
And I was just going to say, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, to be fair, from my perspective, I mean, similar to yourself, I started worked as a retailer about 12, 13 years ago. And then, but the brand name Goodwe, especially over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, has really sort of got to a place where it's held in high esteem. I mean, I know you're likening it to, obviously, not another Chinese manufacturer, but from my perspective, it never really has landed like that. It's always had a certain element of, of a higher class product. And I think a lot of that does come down to the reliability of the technology. So there's not really much marketing out there to suggest poor quality or poor technology. And then just innovation, from my point of view, has been absolutely fascinating. I'm just going to quickly lead that onto a question, Dean, because I did request, for a few people that come to Energy Matters and say, tell us more about Goodwe, or can you generate us consumer leads to be installed by Goodwe? We obviously, ask them questions back. And one thing that did come out to us was our customers are always looking for new and cutting edge technology. What is in the pipeline for Goodwe that will take your offerings to the next level? What have we got to look forward to?
Yeah, and just going to the first point of your question, I guess probably our strongest suit, in my opinion, is the R&D team. We already have the largest inverter portfolio on the market, which is certainly a blessing, but it also poses challenges because it's a lot of products to continually update. And generally, you need to update your products certainly every 2 to 3 years to ensure that you're at the forefront of the innovation, but also you're not getting left behind from a price point. So I guess when we became publicly listed a couple of years ago, we doubled the R&D team within about 6 months. Since then, we've doubled them again, which has really given us the foundation to not only redevelop existing product, but also develop products where we found gaps in the market. So myself and my service and operations manager, Mike Zhang, a couple of years ago, we felt that there was a real gap in the market for larger single phase products, for example. Everyone had everything up to a 5 kilowatt inverter, but we saw the trends in the market. Average size system was constantly going up. So we wanted to be able to capture that market. And so that's when the R&D team developed our MS series, which is the large single phase inverters with 3 MPPTs for complex roofs. And it was also one of the reasons why I chose to go to Goodwe, because I felt that they could develop a product for us based on our needs for our local market. And so we're really lucky and fortunate that we've got an R&D team dedicated purely for the Australian market. And so I guess that's one example. But another example of something in the pipeline that we've got. And our largest investment that we've made from headquarters over the past 12 months has actually been our category of BIPV, which is building integrated photovoltaics. So we've got two products that we've launched. The first one was an integrated solar roof tile, and this is really perfect for new builds. So we're really targeting the builders market there, I guess. Yeah. And the second product that we're just about to launch is our commercial lightweight panel. So this is effectively going to be for the commercial market, whereby standard panels are effectively too heavy for the structure. So this is the product that we'll be offering into that market. So we're really excited by that.
That's super exciting. And look, we publish content all the time around tiles, and obviously, when Tesla launched their tile, I don't think anyone's ever seen it in Australia, but it caused a whole ruckus with our sort of consumers saying, how do we get tiles? Where can we buy tiles from? And we're like holding our hands up saying, I'm really, really sorry, but we don't actually know how you can get quotes or even get the stuff installed. But then when we started working with you and some of the stuff we're going to be doing in the future with the TV shows, and to know that you had access to us to your BPIV products and your tiles got us really, really excited. So I'm just going to quickly, for those who are watching this, check out this. This is a little. Stop it there, Dean, because otherwise we'll just take over all of our talking time. But just to see that on a roof it just sends goosebumps. I mean, really, the market, as you said, has evolved considerably, and the aesthetics of the equipment being used is more important than ever before. With the design, I mean, obviously panels are panels at the end of the day, but the fact technology has now evolved to being like all black panels or just looking a little bit more elegant. And then obviously the space that you guys were primarily playing in at the time with inverters and batteries is now evolving to the point where they're looking very elegant too. So it's certainly amazing to see. But with some roof tiles, how soon do we have to wait as consumers before we can start getting stuff installed on our roofs?
You're probably looking at around a couple of months. So probably from the start of January, they'll become widely available to the market. And, wow. And exactly like you said, aesthetics are becoming more important than ever. And yeah, we've already partnered with a couple of builders who we'll be able to mention sort of in the coming weeks. But yeah, this is something that I guess our headquarters saw the global market of BIPV growing at a significant rate through a lot of different countries. And so they've invested really heavily in this moving forward. And it's fantastic for ourselves and also our sales team to have a lot of new products to talk about to the market, I guess.
Oh, look, it's absolutely incredible. I can imagine now, if both you and I went back 12, 13 years ago to when we're sat in front of people's homes, selling them solar power, to be able to talk about that, it'd be absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's exactly what people have been dreaming of for years in terms of having those sort of things installed on their homes. If that's become a reality now is absolutely insane. Very quick question. I mean, I know you've got a whole vast range of product that's available right now and coming up. I mean, do you have a favorite? I mean, what is your, as a nerd?
That's a good question, having to narrow it down to one. I think, look, the DNS product was really good for us for a long period of time. Last year, most of our growth came out of the MS product, which was the largest single phase. But probably my favorite product, or the one I'm most excited about, is our new low voltage hybrid inverter that we're just about to release, which is the ES Generation 2. Reason I say that is just because it's got a lot of features that some of the other market doesn't have, and our previous version didn't have. For example, it's got 40 amps backup supply, so double the backup of the previous version. Also has the ability to parallel multiple units, let's say if it's a 5 kilowatt hybrid, it also has the ability to supply 10 kilowatts to your loads, 5 from the PV and 5 from the battery. And it has that really nice new aesthetic look. So yeah, I guess we're really excited by the launch of that product. And again, that one should be sort of in the market mid to late December, early January.
That's fantastic. Is that what you showcased at All Energy? I mean, unfortunately, I was overseas, so I missed it, which I was gutted about. I saw the clips and stuff on LinkedIn, which looked amazing. But yeah, what did you feature at the All Energy stand?
At All Energy, we had a lot of our new products. So we had that one. We also had our new HV battery. So we already had a low voltage battery in the market since late last year, but now we're excited to offer the high voltage battery. We also had our larger 3-phase hybrids. So previously we went up to a 10 kilowatt 3-phase hybrid, but now we're launching 15 to 30 kilowatts. So we'll have 15, 20, 25, 30 kilowatt hybrids. We're really excited by that because there's nothing else on the market in that space at the moment. And then we also had our 50 kilowatt hybrid ETC, and then also an AC coupled version of that. In addition, we're just releasing a commercial battery to the market as well.
Wow.
And then in addition to that, we also had our EV charger as well.
Oh mate, and it's music to my ears hearing that you're in the EV space as well now. So you've almost ticked every. In fact, you have ticked every single box. It's almost like the entire home. And I know you've got some seriously smart software as well to sort of piece it all together and to allow customers to get full visibility as to what's going on at any given time, which is awesome. You actually have a really nifty truck as well, don't you?
We do. We've got our roadshow truck, which we dubbed the Smart Innovation Vehicle. In fact, one of our customers did, and we stole that idea. But look, this was sort of a strategy we came up with, or a concept we came up with throughout the COVID pandemic, and everyone was struggling to get out and see customers offline, and so we thought once things opened back up, it'd be great to be able to get around to our customers throughout Australia, especially the rural areas where they've typically been starved of seeing manufacturers, and being able to showcase our product or train, whether it's consumers, installers, distributors, just a little bit more of a hands-on approach, I guess, rather than your typical PowerPoint presentations, which we've been doing for so long. And having some technical guys there, some sales guys there, and whether it's putting on a barbecue or a breakfast or whatever it is, it's just been really rewarding getting to see a lot of the installers face to face again, and the sales guys have loved it.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's amazing. And look, talk about getting into the marketplace. I mean, alongside your truck, I'm delighted to announce that you'll be featuring on 2 TV shows that we've got coming up in 2023. Renovate or Rebuild Season 2, which goes to air later next year, but more coming up fairly soon in March, April next year is Open Homes Australia Season 6. So I'm very, very excited to do the to film a particular home that we've got lined up for that one, Dean. But can you give us an idea as to what sort of technology you'll be featuring on Open Homes, and also, I suppose, more importantly, what had you choose to feature on Open Homes?
Yeah, look, and it's a fantastic opportunity, and thank you for that. I guess for us, it's just a continuation of getting our brand out there, and first and foremost to the consumers. So for that build in Victoria, we'll be showcasing our energy storage system comprising of 2 of the GE high voltage hybrid inverters, coupled with our new Lynx high voltage battery. And the GE hybrid's a dedicated model as part of our GE premium range of inverters. So you might be aware that we are a licensing partner for GE. So we develop products under both the Goodwe brand and also GE. And for GE, we've got some products like this GE hybrid that was developed specifically for GE, and we don't offer anything like it under the Goodwe brand. And then there's some other models that we've basically added extra features and benefits, more trackers, also smart shadow scan, which is like a shade algorithm. But going back to the GE hybrid, this one that we're showcasing basically has 4 MPPT trackers. It also has a little balance of system box with a built-in bypass switch, and it's a large single-phase hybrid. So that's certainly where we see the market going, is that larger single-phase above 5 kilowatts. So this one's available in the 8.6 and also the 10 kilowatts. And I guess, and look, in addition to that, with the GE brand, as I said, we're offering this as a premium range into the market. So we're always thinking of how we can offer a more premium product, more value in the product. And so what we've done is we've actually built the solar analytics platform into that product. And so anyone who gets a GE inverter moving forward will get a 12 months free subscription of solar analytics, awesome, which is really a fantastic benefit and exclusive to the GE brand.
That's fantastic. And once again, it is forward thinking. I mean, looking at how can, where we're at right now is everyone wants to maximize their roof space and get as many panels on their roof as they possibly can, not only just to power their now electricity requirements, but load up, charge up their batteries, thinking about EVs in the future and everything being fully electrified. So, to look at how you get as many roof panels on that roof and not being a microinverter in a manufacturer, to take advantage of multiple roof spaces and directions, having the 4 MPPTs is awesome. Is that the only one on the market? I mean, I haven't, I should know, but
For GE, no, we've got a residential single phase series. We've also got which is up to 5 kilowatts. We've then got the larger single phase series from 5 to 10. We've just released a small 3-phase series, 5 to 20. And then we've got the commercial series, which we had a 50, a 60, and now we've just released a 100, a 110, and also a 120 kilowatt commercial range. So as time's gone on, we've certainly broadened that portfolio, and we also have a partner program that we roll out across Australia, and currently have, I think, 20 to 25 platinum partners where we sort of offer exclusive deals, extra marketing support, also sales and pricing support as well, and also from a service point of view as well. So we're always looking for ways we can differentiate GE. The product's certainly one thing, but then also the service is another aspect as well.
Absolutely. And once again, just ticking a consumer's box. I mean, although the cost of solar power and equipment has come down over the last decade, people are investing now for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 for their entire lives. And, when you're investing that much money in the technology, you want to know that once it's been installed, that's not bye-bye, let's hope it works. You want to know you've got access to partners that are actually going to support you in the long term, right? So it's good to know you've extended that network, mate. So that's brilliant on your part. Just getting a little bit off the product itself now, just going a little bit more to the opinion piece. I mean, what changes would you like to see to the industry to better provide customers confidence that renewables are a viable alternative to fossil fuel reliant technology?
Yeah, good question. I guess from my side, it's probably some incentives or rebate options, not for residential solar. I think residential solar now really sells itself, and it's proven over the last few years as a return on investment. It doesn't typically need rebates in order to sell itself. It does that organically. For me, it's probably more around some incentives for storage and also for EVs. I guess what we're seeing is that batteries, have a huge benefit, not only to the consumers. I think you can certainly make a case now it's a lot more viable than it used to, with dropping feed-in tariffs, and also giving people the opportunity to store their power in their battery, and then they can use that during peak times. But not only that, but also has huge benefits to the grid and stabilization for the grid at times of peak demand. We've seen it in various states, but to have the ability to draw energy from the consumer's battery, help provide that stability for the electricity grid, I think is, really important moving forward. And then I suppose probably just a little bit more education as well. There's a lot of consumers who I guess are still a lot more mature than we used to be, but there's still a lot of misconceptions in the market. And I think if we can better help educate the market, then we can certainly accelerate the transition and move forward.
I completely agree. I mean, it's interesting. As I said, I missed all energy. I was overseas for the first time in years, going to visit family and friends, which was amazing. But just driving across the UK and even across Europe to see the implementation and the use of utility grade, solar power and sort of wind power. It was fascinating. I mean, so many homes had solar power installed, but yet the amount of utility stuff was just insane. And it really, in having conversations in the pub and talking about what I did with Energy Matters, and how many of those customers knew so much about technology, about panels, inverters, batteries, EVs, the amount of EV chargers that were just on the side of streets not being used. I mean, I assumed there'd be queues and queues and queues to get your car charged, but there were so many EV chargers available for public use. It was ridiculous. And then I come back to Australia, and it's like spot the EV charger in southeast Melbourne, Victoria. You just can't see it, right? So so it's disappointing in one sense to see how slow we are adopting technology in Australia. And at the same token, what I'm very clear on is that a lot of that has to do with our state and federal government, and as you said, offering rebates, discounts, incentives, or even just taking lead, saying let's implement this this technology and hit a certain quota at a certain level by assisting the public to to make those choices is what needs to happen. So completely agree.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there, Roshan. The governments do have a big part to play in this. They have the ability to really accelerate the transition there. And as you mentioned before with the EV chargers, it's one thing starting to sell a lot of EVs into the market, but we just need to make sure that the infrastructure and the maintenance is there. I think it's growing, it's getting there. But yeah, there's a few things that certainly we can do to speed up that for sure.
No, absolutely. Just one other thing, Dean, on that. Another question that came through from one of our readers is Australians are known for their early adoption and high uptake of solar. This means there are many, obviously, rooftops with aging, outdated, and inefficient PV systems. So a lot of people that we may have spoken to when we first got involved in solar power, who spent $25,000 on a 5 kilowatt. Some of that technology is now starting to fail. If it's still going, it's not really that efficient, or they've only got a 1.5 kilowatt system. I mean, what message would you like to send out to those who are not sure if they should invest in an upgrade?
Well, I guess a lot of those early adopters were placed on the high feed-in tariff. Most of those have now dropped significantly. So, as a result, most of those are now experiencing higher bills that have come through. And typically a lot of those systems were smaller. So in nearly all cases, I would say it's definitely worth upgrading. The only exception to that is if someone's got still a really high feed-in tariff from the old days, and they're sort of happy with where their energy bills are. But I think certainly it's worth upgrading in most cases because the average size system that you need now is actually a lot larger than it was back then. Your feed-in tariff's a lot lower, so it's not only upgrading in terms of size, but also seriously having a look at whether storage is an option for you as well. And I'd probably recommend they get in touch with a reputable installer, who's able to assess, guide, and also provide costings on, I guess, the best long-term solution and investment for them.
No, good man. And we certainly, we work with over 200 of those around the country, and as you've identified as well, you now have a very large team of certified installers in your network as well. So, was it platinum installers that you referred to?
Platinum installers, that's right.
Fantastic. We'll have some stuff on our website about that very, very soon. Dean, as you know, Energy Matters, we believe in a zero carbon future. I don't think I've ever been more confident of that happening than I have been in the last few months. But what are your thoughts on climate change? I mean, our weather in Melbourne at the moment says it all, really, from from summer conditions last week to today. been pretty Baltic. I mean, it was 8 degrees when I went for a walk this morning. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, in terms of the Melbourne weather, I can't answer that. I'm not sure anyone can answer that for you. We're 15 days out from summer, and it doesn't feel like it, does it? But in terms of climate change, certainly really passionate about it. I think, as a planet, we've done our best to pillage all the resources from the planet as possible. And the simple fact is that we really need to change our ways, use technology to help make that transition. I think the governments need to act faster to accelerate the uptake of renewable technology. We've got the ability to do that through the rebates and the incentive programs. But I think in addition to that, in Australia, we've seen some, poor management and failing of, different recycling programs, plus the slow elimination of the single-use plastics. I think there's a lot of things that we can be doing. One of those things is education. I think we need more and more education for all the consumers out there on just little things that they can do to do their part as well.
No, good call. And what small changes, I mean, would you sort of recommend people make just to move us towards a zero carbon future?
Yeah, and look, they don't even need to be big things. Certainly, I'm not perfect. Not everyone's perfect, but just little things like recycling, stop using single-use plastics, switch to low carbon forms of transport when you can. If it's walking or bike riding, it's not always feasible. Not everyone right now, I guess, makes economical sense for them to switch to EVs. That'll be something that certainly happens a lot more in the future. Adopt solar systems if they don't already have it. We know that it makes financial sense now. I guess just other little things like, switch off your appliances when you're not using them. That also has benefits to the consumer because it reduces their bills. And, some people don't think that it makes a difference, doing those things. They just think they're, a small cog in the greater wheel. But it certainly does make a difference. And
absolutely.
And as I said, I think if we get the messaging out there more so, it'll certainly help. Everyone hears about climate change regularly, but I'm not sure we hear enough messaging about what little things we can do to make an impact.
Literally walking through the streets of Valencia, there was every block, there was a set of 3 recycling bins. One for cans, one for bottles, one for cardboard. I mean, it was like, seriously, I mean, we're lucky if we're walking up and down Beach Street or Beaconsfield Parade along, St Kilda and the foreshore to see even a recycling bin, never mind sort of breaking it up, so it's, there's a lot that needs to be done. Once again, mate, I'll keep talking about the joke, and not to show off, but more so because it really did inspire me to see what changes and what actions people are taking, especially local governments, and it's it fills me with hope. Dean, just one final thing. Obviously, we've spoken about what the Valencian local government are doing, but what would you say? What's Goodwe up to in terms of reducing their carbon footprint and promoting sustainability?
Yeah, I think in the last 12 or 24 months, this has certainly been a big topic for us. We're certainly striving to build a more sustainable production facility, and so we're doing that in the form of, at the moment, we're building new low carbon green factories in a sustainable manner. So we've got our new headquarters that'll be finished in 2024. That'll certainly be extremely sustainable. We've got PV systems installed across all of our manufacturing plants. I think it's around 2.8 million kilowatt hours of electricity that's being generated from those every year. We've also joined the UN Global Compact, and we're dedicated to fulfilling our social responsibility and also practice and concept of sustainability. So we're certainly really focused on it. Regarding the carbon footprint, we've been assessed by a third party, EcoVadis, and we also received the Silver Award for that. Once our new headquarters is finished being built in 2024, that'll move us to the gold standard. So, not just trying to, sell inverters into the market and claim that that's helping the environment. We're also trying to do everything that we can as well. And look, From a local standpoint, I guess one thing we're doing is we're developing an education program at the moment for primary school. So we're trialing that in 2023 with a view to then rolling that out hopefully across Australia at some stage. And then we've also got local recycling programs in place, reduced waste packaging. We've also moved to having a zero paper office. So I guess we're just trying to put the best practices that we can in place. And again, we're certainly not perfect, but we're learning along the way and just trying to do what we can.
Absolutely, man. Look, it's all about leading by example. And as you said, it's just making small changes, like, one little thing that you were to do every single day, the sum of all parts, that makes a massive difference. And before you know it, our carbon footprints, sort of getting closer and closer to that zero. Dean, thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, it was as an awesome a conversation as I hoped it would be. And I've certainly learned a lot today, and I'm sure our audience has too. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Rosh. I really appreciate you having me.
Mate, you're very, very welcome. So, guys, just before we finish up, a brilliant technology as we know, but you'll be able to read up more about that on our site and our website. We'll have some dedicated content for Goodwe, which will be up over the next couple of weeks, and we'll also be publishing a real sort of outline of this particular conversation today, as well as a more in-depth look at the specifics that came out in the conversation. Before we finish, also remember that you can get 3 free quotes for solar power, as well as a free energy bill assessment via our website. So please follow us on the YouTube, check out our social media, and certainly if you're very interested in the Goodwe product, make sure you make an inquiry about that, and we'll connect you to one of those platinum installers. All the best, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.